The Louie Tee Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Salud! Love it when a plan comes together. Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to the Command Post Game Show live. I, of course, am your set man, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me. Commanders lose 27-10 to the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers get the number one seed via an Eagles loss coupled with this win over Washington. We'll talk about that game in a second, but I want to first talk about the Eagles. This is what we've been reduced to, right? Talking about other teams on our post-game show before we talk about our team. But hey, misery loves company, right? So let's bask in the enjoyment that is the garbage-ass Philadelphia Eagles. I say that loosely. Clearly, they're 11-5, just like Dallas is. And we are, 4-12. So, hey, let's be easy on the garbage talk, right? I get it. Still, they had Super Bowl aspirations. And I told LB, and I was saving this one, and I'm going to recycle this bar and run it back a couple more times. But I told LB we were texting back and forth, and after they beat the Giants last week, he started beating his chest again, right? All that ego and that machismo and that bravado. He was getting all brolic again, talking reckless. So I had to peg him down the size a little bit. I said, you and Dallas or both will be on the couch before MLK Day. They just lost to Arizona at the crib. Gave up over 200 yards rushing and 35 points. They are garbage. And I think for how many years is it going to be? Almost 20 years now? We will have a different NFC East champion. Dallas is winning this division. Cheers to keeping a streak alive. Hey, if there's a streak that we won't be able to break, right? Because we're the streak breakers, right? If there's a streak we won't be able to break, it's that one. We're not beating Dallas next week, okay? Even the coaching staff has quit on this team. I'll get to that in a second, but that felt good, man. Cheers to that, right? Anyway, I digress. Let's get to this game, okay? So, I wanted to come up here and give Eric Bieniemy some credit. I told my wife, I said, I hate Eric Bieniemy. I don't hate anybody, and I don't hate EB, okay? But he is extremely buns. But I was going to give him credit today. Now, I said, he's going to have a chance to watch a masterclass and watch one of the best in the business at work, and maybe he'll learn some things as he goes in this game. And Kyle Shanahan comes out, and on the opening possession of the game, he feeds Christian McCaffrey over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And by the time that possession ends, McCaffrey has touched it 8 times. Mind you, Brock Purdy is in the MVP discussion, yet Christian McCaffrey touched it 8 times on the opening possession of the game. 6 of them were runs. The first 3 plays of the game were all runs. Stark contrast to our first 3 plays of the game. Mind you, one Samuel Howell has not taken a single practice rep this week because he was not supposed to start. And yet, our fearless offensive coordinator, Extra Buns, comes out and he has 3 straight passes. And of course, we go 3 and out. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? Anyway, I digress. After that Eric Bieniemy-like first drive of the game, I saw something from him that I had only seen maybe 3 or 4 times this year. I saw the run game. I saw the screen game. I saw the quick passing game. I saw all of the elements that make for a good offense with a young quarterback. And what do you know? We moved the damn football. Now, it didn't end in a touchdown. You would like to see us get in the end zone there, but hey, it was a positive drive. And I said, old Eric, oh, Eric, if you could have just done this sooner and with more consistency. Then we get the ball back again. And Eric puts together another masterful drive. Screen, run, short passing game. And then I saw something from Sam Howell that I hadn't seen all season long. The 49ers were coming on a blitz on a third down. And Sam Howell looks over to Terry McLaurin and does this. And then proceeds to drop back 3 steps and let her rip. Drops a dime in the bucket. And for a split second, I lie to you not, for a split second, it was a fleeting thought. I said, do I need to go back outside? I got my coat on. Do I need to go back outside, Sam? Tell me, do I need to go back outside? He throws a back shoulder fade to Terry on 3rd and goal for a touchdown. And I'm like, Sam, let me know. I got my coat on. I got my hat on. I'm ready. Do I need to go back outside? And then the 49ers drive the ball right back down the field. It's tied at 10. And they get inside the red zone. This is how you know your coaching staff is officially quit. And the one thing I will say about Ronald Rivera, I will say this. I said, damn it, I love consistency. Something we haven't gotten from Extremely Buns this season. No consistency from him whatsoever. But we have gotten consistency from Ronald Rivera. He's been an ass head coach all season long. Poor decision after poor decision after poor decision. And he didn't disappoint today. He stayed consistent. He stayed consistent. The 49ers get a first down at the 2-minute warning. We got all 3 of our timeouts. We just marched it 82 yards on a touchdown drive, and Sam Howell and extra or Extremely Buns looked to be in sync, and it was this is the best drive we've seen since Seattle Week 10. By far and away, with those 2 in particular. And the 49ers throw a pass, a wide receiver screen to Deebo Samuel. Get about 5. I would have called a timeout. But I said, fine. You want to leave one in your back pocket for the offense. I get it. Don't worry about it. Don't call it now. After the next play, though, make sure you call that timeout, all right? They run it with Christian McCaffrey. He gets stopped. I'm like, okay, Ronald's going to call a timeout because that's what good coaches in this league do. They call the timeout here, preserve some time for your offense on the other side of this thing because you're going to get the ball back. It's 3rd and goal. So you're going to get the football back. So I'd call a timeout here. Yeah, that's what the good teams would do, right? Good coaches would do that. And then I stopped and I said, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. We don't have a good coach. What am I saying? So, of course, Ditzy Ron decides to let the clock run. What a novel concept. We're going to let this bitch bleed all the way down to 40 seconds. The 49ers are like, hell, don't mind if I do. They ran it again. They get stopped. Now Ronald decides to call his first time out of the half. What an idiot. What an idiot. Now there's 29 seconds. You got 2 timeouts. Whoopity-doo. What are you going to do with those now, buddy? 49ers kick the little field goal. And the commentator says, hey, if I were Ron Rivera, I would have called one of those timeouts. You could have saved yourself 40 seconds. And I'm like, you think? You think that ever crossed Ronald's dense mind? As he stood over there in his normal Ronald Rivera posture. Of course it didn't cross his damn mind. Any hope of us being competitive the rest of the game went out the window when Ronald decided to sit on 2 goddamn timeouts and allow the 49ers to bleed the rest of the clock down and kick a damn field goal. We get the football back and I'm like, if you're not going to call timeouts, buddy, why are we running it? This is the stupid shit they've been doing all season. Why are you going to run an offensive play? Just take a damn knee. The only thing that can come of this is something bad. You think, what, are we going to rip off a 75-yard run? Take a knee and go to half. If you didn't give a shit when they had the ball to preserve clock for the offense, why are we even running a play? This is the dodo bird shit that we do here, right? Boy, I can't wait till these back. The countdown continues. 10 days left. Okay? 10 days left until this shit is over with. Or is it? Are we down to 8 days? I think we're down to 8 days now. 8 days, correct? Yeah, because next Sunday is 7 days. That's the last game. And then the next day, they should all be fired. 8 days. We're down to 8 days on the countdown. Shit is ridiculous. So then we get the ball back after halftime, and I'm like, hey, EB, that first half script you had, pretty impressive, if I may say so myself. Hey, how about we run that back? A little bit of the run game, a little bit of the screen game, a little pizzazz, yeah. Little Sam, quick game, yeah. A couple shots down the field. Hey, maybe you aren't extremely buns. Nope. We went right back to the whole drop Sam back and let's let her rip. Then we had that one drive. Remember that one time at band camp? We had that one drive where he starts mixing it up. Antonio Gibson gets into the game and Sam has the little, first of all, we had a 3rd down rollout. That same stupid ass sprint out that I've been complaining about. Like, how many times are we going to run this sprint out to the left, which is having Sam throw across his body to the short side of the field where there isn't that much space? How many times are we? You don't think the 49ers were prepared for that? Eric Bieniemy is so trash. Anyway, we run that on a 3rd down and short, 3rd and 2. Of course, we don't get it. Sam has nowhere to go. Even the commentator said, "Hey, well, this is a bad play, right? This is a bad play calling right here. I mean, there's no space over here. You got this side flooded to the field. There's nobody coming from the opposite side of the field, and he's rolling to his left across his." I was like, "We've been watching this shit all year, man. welcome to hell, where you are welcome to sell. Okay, this is the hell we've been dealing with all season long. You're just witnessing this for maybe the 3rd time. This isn't the first time Stink's done one of the games, but hey, welcome to Eric Bieniemy's hell. We've been watching it for now 17 weeks. Anyway, we finally get one more of those drives, one of those delicious drives where Antonio Gibson can't catch. And Sam threw one to him on a swing route. Yeah, was it a little hard? Yeah, maybe. He still should have caught it. Went right through his hands. Then he throws him a little screen, a little boop, pops it in the air, almost gets picked off. I was like, hey, let's not throw him the ball again today. Let's not throw him the rock again. But we move it down there, and then I said, hey, this is a nice looking drive we got going on here. Sam rolled out to his left after a hands to the face penalty by Trenton Scott, right? And on a 2nd and 20, he throws a dime to Curtis Samuel. Hey, hey, maybe, just maybe, I can go back outside. And you know what Eric Bieniemy said? Don't you think about it. Take your goddamn coat and hat off. Stay inside. But I did all my homework. Look, it's right. You can check it. I don't care. The 49ers are coming on a blitz again, and we see it. And, yeah. Eric decides, I'm going to have Terry run up the field, outside, stop, turn, pivot, and go back inside. Except Terry's decided, I don't feel like going inside. I think I'm just going to Stop right here. Corner, if you want the football, knock yourself out. Kind of a route is that with pressure coming, man? This is the shit I've been talking. How about we just run the slant? How about we just run the slant? How about we just run the slant? I don't know. I'm no offensive coordinator, man. I just pretend to be one on Sundays, Mondays, and some Thursdays. Anyway, he throws the pick, of course, and EB told me to take my hat and my coat off, so I did, and I stayed inside, and the rest is history. Sam threw another pick, and he tried to throw another pick, and yeah. But it was fun while it lasted, and we didn't lose 112-16. Scary moment in this game. All jokes aside, when Christian Holmes collapsed, my heart stopped for a second, because you know what I was thinking. He was just talking to Trent Williams, and then he just goes down like a ton of bricks. And at that moment, I'm like, oh my God, this is Damar Hamlin again. And for about a good minute and a half as they went to commercial break, time stopped for me. And when they came back and I saw him sitting up and talking and responsive, I said, oh my God, what a relief. That's some scary shit, man. That's some scary shit. Anyway. One more week of this. You know what's crazy, though? The defense, since Ronald has taken over, stands for the Miami game. That was pretty bad. The defense actually hasn't been half bad. Like, had we gotten, and I get it, they've still given up stuff, but had we gotten this type of effort from the defense earlier this season, when Sam and the offense wasn't lifeless and dead, who knows? We might have actually had a shot. I doubt that. This coaching staff is still horribly overrated and terrible. And so I don't think that the outcomes would have been that different, but I will give the defense credit. You know, we don't have any dogs on that side. Deron played his ass off today. I will say that. Let me just tip my cap to 94. He's come to life after the bye week. I thought he was exceptional against the Rams, and I thought he was really good again today. And it's always good to see 94 peeping his head out and saying, hey, I'm still here. Just so you know, still playing at a high level. Don't forget about me. Anyway, there we go. 27-10. One more week of this, and everybody goes. Everybody goes. It'll be a happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. All of y'all get your shit. Happy day. Hurry up and go and split. Happy day. Be a happy day. Next week, when they all get the hell up out of here. On the flip side, nobody in this division is going to win anything of note this year. And we can take stock. And you know what? I think the NFC East is coming back down to earth. Next year, I think the Eagles are going to be ass. Like, really not 10-1 starting the season off. Like, they've officially lost their swagger. I told you guys, I said, when adversity hits, I want to see what this team does. They may lose their center finally, Travis Kelce, or Jason Kelce may finally say, you know what? To hell with this shit, I'm done. They could finally spiral out of control. Sight for sore eyes. Hopefully some of you can stop drooling over their organization now, because that shit has been built on a house of cards. Dallas is ass too. This will be great. It'll be quick too. Quick and painless. Whoever wins the division, I'm hoping the Rams end up with the 7 seed. And whoever wins the division gets the Rams, and they can go home right away. Straight away. I don't know if I trust Seattle to do it, but I definitely trust the Rams to do it. Send him home straight away. The Buccaneers disappointed me today. They could still win the division, but I don't have the same confidence I had in them 24 hours ago. That shit they pulled today against the Saints. Whoever gets the 5 seed, whoever doesn't win the division, which it looks like it may be Philadelphia, probably going to beat the Bucs. Because the Bucs are beating the Panthers next week, so they're still going to win the division. But that's nor here nor there. Let's get to the comment section. I ain't going to talk your head off. I'm not going to talk your head off today. Keno, start us off. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Keno, y'all left me and Sam outside in the cold. NHO. Yeah, man. Look. I went inside because I thought Sam was inside. Sam came back outside, but I put my shit on. I was ready to go back outside, and EB was like, "Bro, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Stay inside." I'm like, but Sam's outside. He's like, he ain't staying outside. Just take your stuff off. Stay inside. So I'm inside. The first pick, I'm putting that on Terry. First of all, I put it on EB. Why the hell are we running that concept down by the end zone? Why? Like, makes no sense. Everybody else is running simple shit in those situations. The out route, the slant. We got to do some crazy shit where guys are running figure eights just so he could get picked off. Like, Terry on that particular play is supposed to fight to get across that defender's face. Like, nothing in that play requires Terry to stop. Nothing. Go outside, whip back inside across that guy's face is how that's supposed to go. And he just stopped. I'm not telling you it was a great throw. I'm just telling you that's not how. If a guy throws a pick on a slant or a post, it's the receiver's fault because you're supposed to cross that defender's face no matter what. The second pick was all on Sam. Like, you can't come back over there late, not see the defender, the trap defender on the outside, and think that your guy's wide open. He never saw that defender. That's all Sam. And he tried to throw another one. And that's the shit. That last almost pick that he threw from the end zone, where he rolls out to his left, stops by the sidelines before he, like, I'm like, bro, what the hell are you doing? That's dumb football. You did that same shit against the Giants and threw a pick. You haven't learned the lesson yet? Clearly not. Remember they used to tell us, hell, Sam doesn't repeat mistakes. I can't tell because he's done that before, okay? That exact same bozo throw that almost got picked off, roll out, stop by the sidelines, try to throw it, gets hit as he's throwing it, ball comes up short and almost, the last time against the Giants, it got picked off. This time, it almost got picked off. What are we doing here, guy? It's over, guys. It's over. Like, Sam is definitely got talent, but you won't see it with this group. You won't see it with this group because Sam right now is a guy you have to protect from himself. You got to protect him. That's what you're supposed to do to young quarterbacks. Protect them. You saw what Brock Purdy. You saw what Kyle Shanahan was doing? You saw how much they ran the football today? Brian Robinson was averaging 5.5 yards a carry in the first half. You know how many carries he got in the second half? 1. Don't tell me Eric Bieniemy is a good offensive coordinator, okay? Brian Robinson finished this game with 9 carries for 44 yards. He had 8 carries for 42 yards in the first half. Don't talk to me about this guy being a really good offensive coordinator because he's not. He's clueless, okay? Anyway, yeah, I left you outside in the cold. I'm not ashamed of that. I told you I was going inside. I told you why I was going inside. It wasn't because I don't believe in Sam, but it was over. They benched our guy. And the only reason he played is because Jacoby Brissett had a hamstring injury. They don't believe in him, and Sam played well in spurts today, but he still the confidence that he once had isn't there right now. It isn't there right now. I'm happy for Terry. Terry got another touchdown. Terry gets even closer to 1,000 yards. I don't know if he's going to make it. I don't know if he's going to make it, but I think he's right around that 950 range or so now. Just needs 50 yards, but boy, they've been hard to come by. They've been hard to come by. But good half of football. First half was good for you, Terry. Chauncey Davis. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, no excuses for Sam's play, but confidence. Gone. 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 Yeah, it's gone. His confidence is gone. Gone. Unfortunately, it is gone. I agree. And I'm not looking to make any excuses for his play. Sam had his moments today, and he also had those moments where we go, what the hell is that, Sam? What are you doing, dude? What the hell was that? It is what it is. Chauncey Davis, OG triple OG CD. Greatly appreciate you, member of the MOBB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Writes, the new GM can't get here fast enough. The end of the season can't get here fast enough. We got one more week. One more week. Then we'll have a exhaustive search that'll probably last, I'll say, 3 weeks or so. And early February, I expect this team to be making a GM decision. Maybe late January at the earliest. Early February is my guess. And by that time, we should be, making a head coaching hire as well. So I think this whole process will be complete in terms of GM and head coach and what the front office structure will be. I think all of that will be complete in January. The front office structure, who the team president will be, because I think they're going to have a team president. And I told you guys this much already. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Marty Herney, which I don't want it to be, but if it is, okay, fine, whatever. But I think the GM is hired late January, early February, head coach, same deal. And then we go from there. We're getting there slowly but surely. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy BD writes, Lou, Sam Howell is working his way out of the NFL. Looking forward to next year again. I don't think he's working his way out of the NFL. He'll be here next year as a backup quarterback. And I think he's fully capable of doing that. But as far as a starter is concerned, he's definitely played himself out of that opportunity. And it's a damn shame what happened to that dog. Damn shame what happened to that dog. That dog don't hunt no more. That dog does not hunt anymore. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Been a member for 28 months. Who writes, happy holidays, Lou. Happy holidays, Rob. Appreciate you. As much as I like Sam, the new GM has to explore all options. The timing of the interceptions are backbreaking, and it appears his confidence is shattered. Today didn't uncover any new revelations about Sam. It just confirmed what we already knew. He's broken. The man was benched. He didn't get a single practice rep this week. What did you expect him to do today? I told you I was perfectly fine with not giving two shits about today's game. Instead, I had to sit there and watch every second of this shit show because my guy was out there. I was perfectly ready to see Jacoby Brissett go out there and light it up. I was robbed. We were robbed of that today, right? There's no doubt about it. If Sam had an opportunity to do something today at 10-10, and again, the defense didn't do him any favors on that last drive, giving up the field goal, but the coaching staff, they quit on us by essentially not calling a timeout and giving the offense, who had just went down on an 82-yard drive, a chance, right? They said, F you. Well, they're following the script. We're supposed to lose. They made sure they did their part to ensure that we lost this game. Sam handled the rest. So I'm not mad at that. But if Sam truly wanted to save his hide, give himself an opportunity, this was the chance. This was his last chance. Because no one was expecting anything from him today. He could play loose and free. He wasn't supposed to start. He could have came in, blazed the 49ers, get an upset victory, giving Washington the 7th pick in the draft, and that might have saved his job. All in one fell swoop. But instead, he did the thing that we expected him to do, and it is what it is. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, did number one even get a single target? I'm not sure. I want to say he did, but I don't. I can check right now. I have my trusty handy dandy mobile device right here in tow. Let's check and see. I think he had one target in this game, but I wouldn't be shocked if that one target was actually Curtis Samuel. And so the answer is no. But let's just find out. We don't have to guess. Let's just find out if he had a target or not in this game. And the answer is yes, one target. I thought he had one. It was a garbage target, but it was one nonetheless. One of the biggest faults of Eric Bieniemy is his inability to get his guys to football. And that's why I was going to give him some credit today, because he went out of his way to get Terry the ball. Like we ran a jet sweep pop pass to Terry where Terry ran across the formation and Sam's in the shotgun and he just, whoop, 12-yard gain. How hard is that? How hard is that? I'm talking to you, Extremely Buns. How hard is that? Is that hard to do? You can't do that with Jahan Dotson? You can't throw a wide receiver screen to Jahan Dotson? Like, this shit is not rocket. How many wide receiver screens did Deebo Samuel catch today? Show of hands. Anybody want to answer that question? How hard is it to get your best players of football? Raise your hand if you can remember and recall how many wide receiver screens Deebo Samuel caught today. 4. It's not hard. You want to get your guy to football? Not hard. We make this shit hard, but it's really not that hard. No, Jahan Dotson didn't really have a target today. The one target was like a throwaway, and he was the closest receiver. Yeah, that's bullshit, by the way. But I digress. Wilfredo Elias, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes 9 runs for B-Rob and 12 total with AG. But what did I tell you? All season long, we've had success on the ground. B-Rob was averaging 5 a pop. Ended up with 9 carries. Had 8 at halftime. How do people watch games and think EB is any good? I don't know, man. You know what I think it is? They don't watch the rest of the league. So they don't actually know what good offense is supposed to look like. So they think that this guy, because he came from Kansas City, he's supposed to be this grand wizard offensive play caller. I think that's what it is, Wilfredo. They don't watch other games. So they're not actually privy to what clean, efficient, wholesome NFL offense is supposed to look like. I think they just go off the narrative. It came from Kansas City. It can't be him. It's got to be Sam. So Sam is checking out of pass plays or run plays to pass plays. Gotcha. Okay. He says, I know I shouldn't be, but I am so annoyed. Really hope Chicago thinks they're MHJ away, LOL. Happy New Year, by the way. Hey, Justin Fields is playing good football. I told y'all this a month ago. I said Fields has come back from this injury, and he's not going to make the decision easy on them. He's making that shit quite hard. And they've won 5 out of their last 7 games. And don't look now, but the Bears have won, I think, 7 games this season now. What's their record? Are they 6-9 or are they 7-8? Let's find out. Again, handy dandy mobile device. I don't have to guess. See where the Bears are now. The Bears are 7-9. All right, so Justin Fields is making it. Hell, their coach, who we just assumed a month and a half ago, this guy's fired. Fired. Matt Eberflus might be back in Chicago. And for all you Heineke truthers out there, was it Heineke Ultra today? Light or 0%? I didn't watch the game, so I can't tell you. You tell me. You had a chance to check it out. How'd your guy do? Anyway, I digress. And that's no knock on Taylor Heineke, okay? I like Taylor. You know, Taylor's a good dude, man. Zoe Life, No Life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, the number 2 pick is ours with Giants loss. Wow. Ron leaves us in the exact same situation since he was hired. Ironic he was a part of 2 owner oustings, LOL. Ciao. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? The Cardinals got an unexpected victory today. And we look like we about to have the number 2 pick in the draft. Hey! We ended the new year off right, man. We ended it off right. Come, hey, Zoe Life, No Life. Full circle. Ron did a whole 360. When he met us, we were downtrodden and ashamed of the product that was being put on the field, and we owned the number 2 overall pick. And our best players were Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and Terry McLaurin. And when he left us, we're ashamed of the product that's on the field. We got the number 2 pick in the draft, and our best players are Terry McLaurin, Deron Payne, and Jonathan Allen. Hey! Full circle. One revolution around the damn league. What a joke. This shit is over in 8 days. 8 days and counting. Okay? To change. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Rob Yu, thank you for being a member of the MOBB writes. Number 78 keeps things quiet whenever called on. Let me get out of this sweatshirt. Getting a little warm. Getting a little warm unnecessarily. There we go. Nice and comfy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Trenton Scott had some rough issues today with penalties. Hands to the face, a false start. I think he had 2 false starts. Hands to the face. I don't think he had a holding, but this might have been the best offensive line performance of the season. I kid you not. That's a good 49ers front. And without blitzing, they really didn't apply any pressure to Sam. That pocket held up. I'm telling you guys, this offensive line is not as bad as you think. It's not a great group, but with better coaching, right? You get a better offensive line coach. And I'm not saying Travell Wharton and you know, company, Juan Castillo and company aren't good enough to get the job done. I'm just thinking you can find better, right? But I'm telling you, Cornelius Lucas could have improved this offensive line this season. You could have put him at right tackle after week 2, and you could have helped this offensive line immediately with that move. Don't tell me we couldn't have fixed this offensive line in season with the stuff we had on the roster. I think that's bullshit, personally. I told y'all before the season started, I don't think this offensive line is as bad as everyone thinks it's going to be. And they had their moments. That first Giants game was atrocious. But they could have fixed this thing with the guys we had internally. They could have fixed this offensive line. And it's like pulling teeth to get Ronald to bench somebody. If Wiley wasn't hurt, we'd have never seen Trenton Scott. And I'm not telling you he's a world beater, but his ass is probably better at right tackle than goddamn Andrew Wiley. You think we wouldn't have had a sack? You don't think that there would have been a sack off the right side if Andrew Wiley started today? I beg to differ. You don't think there would have been a sack off the left side had Charles Leno Jr. started today? I beg to differ. The interior kept it nice and quiet. Hell, even with Nick Gates at center, Cosme has been lights out all season long, and Sadiq Charles doing his job. I'm not telling you this is a 5-star offensive line. I've never said that. Now, you'll never hear me say that. But what I am telling you is I think their struggles could have been alleviated. They could have circumvented some of the problems we had if we had better coaching. A coach that wasn't afraid to make change. That's no here, no there. 78 did it again. And you know what? I'd love to have him back. And it won't cost you a whole hell of a lot to bring him back and make him your starting right tackle. You can't fix this entire offensive line in one offseason. You can't get all new parts. You're going to have to keep some of the old ones. The only one right now that we feel like is worth keeping is Sam Cosme at right guard. I'd keep Cornelius Lucas too. No, he's not a spring chicken, but his ass can get the job done. And there's a lot of miles left on that car, right? Left on those tires. He hasn't been a full-fledged starter in his career. So there's a lot of, similar to Ty and Secchi, there's a lot of mileage left on those tires. A lot of tread. I'd sure like to use some of it up. Start him at right tackle, draft you a left tackle. I don't know if we have our center or not on the roster already, but we did spend a 3rd-round pick. It's worth a shot to find out if he can play or not. And then go get you a left guard. If you're not going to bring back Sadiq Charles, remember, he is a free agent at season's end. If you're not going to bring him back, go get you a left guard and let's go play ball. Because it's highly unlikely that you're going to go out and get you a right tackle, a left guard, all in the same offseason. It's not impossible. Highly unlikely you're going to get all of that out of the draft. So my suggestion is you go find you a guard in free agency, if at all possible. You bring back Cornelius Lucas and you draft a left tackle. And bada bing, bada boom, you might have fixed the offensive line. And then you start our 3rd-round pick at center. And let's just see what we got. Anyway, to your point, Rob, you kept it nice and quiet over there again, which makes me even more frustrated that this man hasn't started this season unless there was an injury. Moron thinking is moron thinking. Cheers to that. Hey, he writes, they held these tackles behind Leno and Wiley. Make it make sense. Look, I wish I could. I've been advocating for Cornelius Lucas to get on the field. Now, what did I tell y'all about Trenton Scott? I said, look, I don't think he's a starting tackle in this league. But I said, what I saw in the preseason, what did I tell y'all? He's got to be on this roster. That's all I told you. I was like, I don't know if he's a starter. Like, you can start him. You know, this is a small sample size. He only played in this game, right? And he played at the end of the game against the, was it last week or the week before against the Rams? And it was last week because Wiley got hurt last week and didn't finish the game. And he played well in that game as well to finish up. It's a small sample size. You're talking about a game and a quarter maybe, but it's been, other than the penalties, it's been a pretty efficient game and quarter. But again, the fact that we were having issues and they never explored any other options tells you that this staff just simply doesn't get it. Lou, what did you think Moron was going to do with those timeouts? I don't know what I was thinking. I for a brief second, I forgot who our coach was. For just a brief second, man. As I watched the clock run from 1:06 down to 35 seconds when the 49ers finally snapped the football, as those seconds ticked away, I was quickly reminded of who our head coach was. I don't know. For a second, I was thinking we had a competent head coach. I don't know why I was thinking that he would call a timeout there. What was I thinking? He says, Forbes put up a fight, and I'm still hoping for the second year. He actually didn't play poorly today. He actually didn't play. How about James Smith-Williams on that almost sack of Brock Purdy? Man, our defensive ends suck ass. Like, you couldn't have taken a worse angle to Brock Purdy than that. I feel bad that Emmanuel Forbes even gave up a touchdown on that play. He covered for 15 seconds. James Smith-Williams has a direct line at the quarterback, and he takes the worst angle known to mankind. Brock Purdy, Tony Romo spins out of the bitch, it creates another 6 seconds. I don't know who you're expecting to cover for that damn long. Boy, oh boy. We need about 3 of them things in the offseason. Defensive ends I'm referring to. So, like, for those of you who want to spend 18 picks on the offensive line, you better pay attention to the defensive end because that shit stinks. We created a massive need with the moves we made. And I'm not mad at that because you can draft you one in the second round. I think you should probably double back and get another one on day 3. And then I'd sign a free agent, you know, if there's one available that you like, and you go from there, right? Anyway, I'm not giving up on Emmanuel Forbes. I told y'all that. I still would have taken Gonzalez. I'm not backing down from that, but I think the kid can play. It's just a matter of how good, right? Did give up the deep ball, but that was great coverage. This is a better ball from Brock Purdy and an even better catch by Brandon Ayuk. Ricky D. Hustle. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ricky D. writes, Happy New Year's, Lou. Happy New Year's, Ricky D. With the Cards win, do we have the number 2 overall pick now? And are we trading for the first overall pick? Yes, we have the number 2 overall pick. But remember, these things are very fleeting. All right. Strength of schedule is going to come into play with both Arizona and New England. And Arizona is they're not going to finish in front of us. We just needed to catch up to them. Their strength of schedule is going to be crazy because their entire division is good. Okay. There is no Giants in their division. There is, no, they're the Giants in their division, right? Or actually, they're us, okay? And there is no Giants in their division. Seattle's making the playoffs. The Rams are making the playoffs. The 49ers already have clinched the number 1 seed in the NFC. So by virtue of that, their strength of schedule is ridiculous. So we're the number 2 pick overall right now as it stands, but we have to look out for New England because their strength of schedule and ours is like neck and neck. It's like neck and neck. They have a Giants in their division. They're called the Jets. So we're gonna have to fight them tooth and nail. And the Dolphins got their ass whooped today, so that brings their strength of schedule down just a bit. But the Eagles lost for us, so that helps us in that regard. So again, we'll see what happens. We can finish no worse than 4. We've talked about this already. We can finish as high as 2. Right now, we are 2. And if we are 2, you've got to know that if Chicago is willing to trade the number 1 overall pick, it's probably going to be to us. That'd be my guess. That'd be my guess. Dory Gunner, again, assuming that our new GM wants. And that's why I think Ian Cunningham makes a ton of sense. Coming from Chicago, he will be able to deal with the current GM of the Bears because there's a working relationship. Similar to, remember when the Lions did the deal with the Rams? Brad Holmes came over from LA. He was the assistant there, went over to Detroit, immediately made a deal for Goff and all the first round picks that changed hands in that deal and so forth and so forth. I think something similar can happen here with us getting Ian Cunningham as our new GM and having him make a deal with Ryan Poles, the current GM of the Bears, right? Because there's a working relationship there. But that doesn't have to be the case. You don't have to have a relationship with a GM to get a deal done. As long as it makes sense for both sides, the deal can get done, right? Dory Gunner, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, Eagles coaches are as bad as ours. They're not great as people, tried to put them on this pedestal. I've already told you that their offensive and defensive coordinators aren't very good. But their head coach, Nick Sirianni, he is good. I do believe in him, but they're struggling right now. And I told you I wanted to see how they handled adversity. And as a wise man once said, not very good. Not very good. So that's now, 3 out of the last 4? Or 4 out of the last 5 losses for the Eagles. 4 out of the last 5. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? EB called a nice first half aside from the first series. That's exactly how I felt. Exactly how and then he morphed back into extremely buns in the second half. aside from the one drive that Sam threw his first pick on, aside from that drive, that was actually a well-balanced drive. We'll call that the Antonio Gibson drive. The screen, the nice little run. Sam had the little rollout to his left, the little half rollout to his left, and he found Curtis Samuel for a nice 26-yard gain on 2nd and 20 after the Trenton Scott hands to the face. But yeah, EB morphed back into extremely buns in the second half. And I wanted to come on here and give him some credit. And he quickly made sure that that didn't happen. Mike Lowry has been a member for 8 months. Appreciate you, who writes, has B-Rob surpassed Terry as our best weapon on offense? No, I don't think so. But it's good that you're even bringing him up in close relation to Terry. That tells you that he's a guy that is a problem that can help this football team moving forward, no matter who the coach is here. We got one in Brian Robinson. We have one. That trade didn't go in vain. I know a lot of you were banking on Sam, me included, banking on Sam to make that trade like the foundation of us turning things around here in Washington, but we still got something out of that trade, and his name is Brian Robinson Jr. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy Chris, thank you for the generosity, gifting 5 memberships. Shout out to my guy Chris. Salud. Happy New Year's to you and yours, Chris. As always, really appreciate the support. Thank you for your generosity. Got any grapes? Been a member for 28 months. Happy New Year, Lou. Happy New Year. Got any grapes? What a great day to be a Washington fan. I won't go that far. Hey, wait a minute now. All right. It's an exciting day, not a great day. So there's a difference there, right? Great would imply that we actually did something really good, right? Something that makes you proud. We actually didn't do anything. Others around us did a lot. We did what we've been always doing, which is losing in epic fashion. The others around us, like Arizona and Philadelphia and New England and teams like that, they did what they were supposed to do. They did the things that we needed them to do. And that's the difference. So you told LB and them boys about Arizona. I tried to warn them about Arizona. Now, I didn't think they would lose to the Cardinals. I'm not going to sit here and act like I predicted them losing to the Cardinals. But I did tell them when they were making fun of me at the beginning of the season when we barely beat Arizona, I said, all right, telling you, Arizona's not as bad as you think. Dallas got a piece. Philadelphia got a piece. And the Giants were down 28-7 before they allowed an epic comeback and had a meltdown in the second half against Daniel Jones. So everybody was laughing at us, but we didn't lose to them. Okay? We didn't lose to them. Got any grapes? Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Truly do appreciate you. Got any grapes? Thank you for your generosity. Happy New Year's to you and yours. Salud. Thank you for the 10 memberships. Zoe Life, No Life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Lou, no repeat NFC East winner again. Cry, Eagles, cry. Oh, we're going to have ourselves a bird fry. Oh, it's going to be lovely. Get out your hottest grease. Okay? Get out your hottest grease. We're frightened to have us a bird fry. Oh, it's going to be lovely. It's going to be lovely. Nate Master. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Nate Master writes, we are now tied at 2 with New England at 5-1-5. They play New York, though. They play the Jets, and that was the game that I thought they were going to win. So I'm not worried about New England as far as, that's concerned. I think they're going to win in Week 18. I've already told you that, though. If they don't, they could end up with the number 2 pick in the draft. So that's something to keep in mind. But as of right now, I think the number 2 pick is as good as ours. Arizona, I didn't know if they would win another game. I didn't anticipate them beating Philadelphia. They got it done, man. I can't believe we have the number 2 pick in the draft. This shit is unbelievable to me. You couldn't have paid me to think that this was going to be our fate this year. You could not have paid me. So many of you said, Louie, we're not, after we traded Sweat and Young, we're not winning another game and we're going to be awful. And I like I always do, I dismiss that crowd because you know how often I hear people say stuff like that? You know how often people say things like that? Oh, we sucked. 2020 is a great example. Oh my God, we're going to have a top 5 pick. And I'm like, no, we're not. Stop. 2021, same thing. We started out 2-6. We were awful. Oh my God, we're going to have a top 5 pick. Fire everybody. This team's awful. I was like, no, we're not. Trust me. Didn't think we were going to beat the Bucks. Didn't think we were going to go on a 4-game heater. Didn't think we were going to get back to 500. Didn't expect the season to bottom out the way that it did. But all those things happened. But once again, we didn't bottom out, right? This season, however, it's been rough. Again, I just didn't see us getting to, we have the number 2 pick in the draft. Do you know how inept you have to be as a franchise, as a team, as an organization to be in a position to have the number 2 pick in the draft? Unbelievable, man. I hope this is the last time we're doing this shit. I hope we get our quarterback. I hope we get the shit right. I hope we don't miss on this. This is such a big, important offseason because I don't want to do this shit again. Somebody said, what a time to be a Washington. No, this is not a great time to be a Washington fan. This is not what it's about. Being excited that you lost by 17 points and another team that's not directly connected to you wins, and now you have the second pick, and that's not what this is about. I get big picture. I understand that we need these things to happen so that we don't find ourselves hopefully here again. I get it. And I'm leaning all the way in. But I'm begrudgingly leaning all the way in. Christopher McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Christopher, my guy Chris, thank you for being a member of the MOBB writes, hey Lou, what's up Chris? Happy New Year to you and the family likewise, as always, Chris, man. Can't thank you enough for your generosity. Thank you for the gifting of the memberships and all that you continue to do to support the Louie Tee Network and this movement. Confidence and consistency. Another season of struggle. I realize it's May or Daniels more than likely, but why do we struggle with play calling, especially on third and fourth and short? I mean, if we had the answers, I'll tell you this, a lot of teams in the league struggle. Like even Ben Johnson, he, does the gun run thing on third down and short, right? He's more likely to go to empty on fourth and short. So he's not the only one. Eric Bieniemy, I'm speaking of, that struggles in short yardage situations. But the best teams keep it short and sweet and simple. They don't try to reinvent the wheel. The quickest path to a first down is straightforward. So all this trickeration, all of this eye candy, shotgun formation and jet sweeps, which are fine. Those work a lot of times, but the best teams in the league just line up and say, hey, stop this shit. And if you do, I tip my cap to you. I think we're fully capable of doing that. We just don't. Our play caller doesn't believe in just lining up and saying, hey, stop us. Again, you would never have gotten me to believe that this is who Eric Bieniemy has turned into after a life of being a running back, then a running back's coach, and being who he has been for much of his life as a running back. You would never have got me to believe that this is what he would have been reduced to as a play caller, ignoring the run game and essentially going away from it at all costs. He's allergic to running the football consistently, is Eric Bieniemy. I don't know what his offense looks like when you get a lead, but the type of runs that we run, these delayed draw handoffs, and these aren't even inspiring runs. They work, but even those are finesse runs. It's just hard for me to fathom that this is what he's been reduced to, knowing his background. It's amazing. It's amazing. Miss P, thank you for being a member of the MOBB for 27 months. Who writes, thumbs up the stream. Y'all heard the woman. Don't ask no questions. Just do as you're told, okay? Thumbs up the stream. I appreciate y'all out there. And I appreciate you, Miss P. Happy New Year's to you and yours. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, number 2 pick. Hopefully Chicago keeps Justin Fields so we can have our pick of the litter when it comes to quarterback. Now, a lot of you are becoming fixated with Caleb Williams. The guy is super talented. There are some red flags for me. We got a lot of time to kind of, dive into what we think of him and his strengths, his weaknesses, et cetera, et cetera. The beauty of it is, to your point, there is a chance that we could. Now, again, if our new GM comes in here and he's not, I told you, this is how this works. If he doesn't think that there's a great difference between Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels, he didn't have to make a trade up to number 1. Because guess what? If he doesn't get the first quarterback, he'll get the next one, right? If he clearly believes Caleb Williams is head and shoulders above the rest of the group, then he has to do everything he can to get to number 1. And you'll have the inside track. If you end up with the number 2 overall pick, you'll have the inside track on the number 1 pick overall, because you're just 1 pick behind Chicago and you've got ammunition. You've got the draft capital in the second round, and, that team won't have to go that far, So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Key himself, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, when your wife had twins, did you say double up? No, I did not. I was like, oh my God. That's what I was like. We shot for 1, but I pulled out the double barrel and we got 2. That's a good one, Key himself. That's a good one. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I got Rob Yu writes, why is clock management so hard for Ronald? Don't know. I wish I had the answers, but some guys just aren't good at that type, those sort of things. Clearly, Mike McCarthy isn't very good at those sort of things. He's been bad at it his entire career. To me, if you know you aren't good at something, you should hire someone that is. Like, it's okay to admit that this isn't a strong suit for me. The best people in business understand their weaknesses and hire people to offset those weaknesses. So if you know that you get caught up in the game and coaching and you don't really pay attention to the clock the way, or you don't know how it works all that well, hire someone that does. He's too prideful. If he's asked and pressed about it in the press conference, his answers have always been over these 4 years, well, our analytics, no analytics guy told you to do that stupid ass shit. Cut the bullshit, man. I've been watching football for far too long for you to try to lie to me in my damn face. Well, the analytics said, no, the analytics didn't tell you to do that stupid shit. It told you to do quite the opposite, actually. I don't know. I wish I had an answer. Journey Reed, been a member for 21 months. I ain't even watched today, man. Not gonna lie. Good looks, Arizona. I don't blame you. I do not blame you whatsoever. Do not. Good looks, Arizona. Kyle, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Kyle writes, AZ onside kick with 5 minutes left. Big brain. Happy New Year. He was, so what that said to me when he did that, and in the moment, it felt like he was blowing it. He was going to blow the game, right? But what that said to me was, how everybody during the course of the week tries to downplay a game? Oh, it's not that important. I don't really care. You know, one of my favorite sound bites of the year was Jake Browning beating the Vikings. And then after the game saying, you know how you guys asked me all week, was this one, did it mean a little bit more because of the Vikings cutting me and all that stuff? And I told you, no, I lied. And no, this one meant a lot. And then he went through the story of how they did a shitty job of cutting him. And he's like, I've been cut a lot of times, but that was by far and away the worst way that I was cut. And so, yeah, there's a bit of animus there. And even though the guys that did that to me aren't there anymore, and it's a new organization, people that, you know, are probably good people over there now. And they're still good people that from when I was there, but still, I really wanted this one, right? What that told me, remember, the Arizona Cardinals were docked, I think, a draft pick and fined for how they pursued Eagles defensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. So, and Eagles fans blame him for the Super Bowl loss. He wasn't locked in. He was already thinking about Arizona. That's why he did such a poor job, this, that, and the third. What that told me is that onside kick said, hey, he wanted this bitch bad. He wanted to stick it to their ass bad. You know, he wanted to go back to Philadelphia and give them a big middle finger. Like, hey, y'all been talking shit about me since I left. I heard your jokes. Y'all stay with my name in your mouth. Your defense is ass. How you like me now? I'm going to come in here and run it up on your bitch ass. Watch yourself. I ain't playing with your bitch ass. And when they got it done, you don't think he was excited? Shit. Journey Reed gifted a membership. Shout out to Journey Reed. Really appreciate you for gifting a membership. Really appreciate you. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy Chris. Double up. Thank you for the generosity. Really do appreciate you as always, my guy Chris. Writes, hey Lou, 3 questions. 1, what do you think we can get with a consistent pass rush besides upgrade? What can we do to get a consistent pass rush besides upgrade talent? 2, who do you see as our number 3 receiver next year? And 3, what team do you see, if any, stopping the Ravens in the AFC, or is it just the 49ers in the NFC? So we'll take them in the sequential order that you asked them. We start with getting a consistent pass rush and what we have to do to have that happen. So you said besides upgrading the talent, that's if you want a consistent pass rush, that's really what you need to do. But the only other way to do that with the guys that we currently have is to scheme it up. You know, you're going to have, and there's ways to do that. We just don't do a very good job of getting guys home, you know, getting free rushers, you know, creating looks that look like pressure that really aren't. We just don't do we don't do a really good job of scheming it up. That's what you have to do. And so if you want consistent pass rush, you're going to have to find a better coordinator, personally. Guys that understand how to break down an offensive line's protection, how to get free runners. And then you're just going to have to get better players. And I know you said besides getting better players, but that's really what it boils down to is you just need better players. If you're not going to get better play calling, if you're not going to have a better scheme that puts players in positions to be more consistent getting to the quarterback, then you're going to have to just get better players that win one-on-one matchups more consistently, which we currently don't have. Who do you see as our number 3 wide receiver next year? I don't think that guy's on the roster right now, truth be told. I think Curtis Samuel will not be re-signed, even though I would love to bring him back at a reasonable price, whatever that looks like. But truth be told, I think we're going to draft a receiver that will come in here, and he'll be behind Terry and Jahan. And I think we go from there. So personally, I don't think our 3rd receiver is on the roster right now. What team do you see, if any, stopping the Ravens in the AFC? Buffalo. I've made it abundantly clear that even though Buffalo struggled with New England today, and they're not the cleanest team right now, I still think the Bills have the pedigree. They have the chops. They've been in the playoffs. They've beaten Baltimore in the playoffs before. This feels like the year of the Ravens. They demolished the Dolphins today, and every team that they've been put in front of with a running record, they have absolutely throttled. And they seem like the best that the NFL has to offer right now. However, I still think San Francisco is capable of beating them. So yes, I think in the AFC it's Buffalo or bust. In the NFC, I think it's definitely San Francisco. Rob, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you for your generosity. Shout out to my guy Rob. You really do appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for the generosity and gifting 5 memberships. JP, my guy John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JP writes, Washington loses. Cards upset the Eagles. Now we're up to 2nd overall. Bears just clinched the top pick, but won't pick quarterback or could trade out. Hashtag Caleb to DC. And so there's a lot of time between now and whenever that decision that the Bears decide to make happens. I think last year the Panthers traded up for number 1 sometime in March, the end of March, I believe, early April, end of March, because we already knew what was happening well before the draft started. You'd like to get something like that done prior to free agency so you know where you stand, right, as far as what needs to be done in free agency. But I don't think that's going to impact our free agency at all whatsoever. So once again, Washington will have an opportunity if they finish with the 2nd pick, and clearly that is not a done deal yet, but they're trending in that direction. If they find a way to clinch up the number 2 pick, they're in a position to get whatever quarterback they so desire. Because it's looking more and more like the Bears are going to keep Justin Fields. It's looking more and more like that as the days pass and the performances stack up. Court Casino, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. He writes, F's with you, Lou. You hanging on by a thread, and we here for it. We were wrong about a lot this season. It is what it is. Happy holidays, fam. Definitely wrong about a lot of things this year. This has been one of my most wrong seasons when it's come. I've been right about everybody else's team, right? I just can't get shit right about my own team, which is sad. It's a sad state of affairs. But here we are. You know what? It may not all be for naught. It might actually turn out to be for the best. We'll see. But happy holidays to you and yours, man. Truly do appreciate you. And looking forward to a bright, bright future here in Washington. Hopefully that is the case. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rob Yu writes, find a left tackle, move 71 to left guard, play Cole Luke at right tackle. Would have been nice to see Stromberg if Stromberg is the answer, but probably need a center as well. And that's the thing. We don't know about Stromberg. We don't know if he can play center or not. In this league, we know he did it at a high level in the SEC, but we don't know if he's an NFL caliber center or not. We don't know if Andrew Wiley is going to be a good guard. We just assume he's played guard in his career, and we know he can do it. But are we looking for a guy that can do it or a guy that can do it extremely well at a high level? I think we know the answer to that. So again, you can't do everything in one offseason. And if you don't have a chance to upgrade that position and you're already paying Wiley, okay, fine, right? But I would be looking for an upgrade there before I put Andrew. I would like to send Andrew Wiley to the bench altogether, right? That would be my choice. But, we'll see. But draft the left tackle and move Cole Luke to right tackle would be my first 2 things that I would do on the offensive line. I would insert Ricky Stromberg. That would be the 3rd thing that I would do. And then after that, I would find a left guard. If I can't, then Andrew Wiley becomes the choice, right? So we'll see. But that's what I see happening. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Chauncey writes, if Sadiq Charles could just stay healthy. Wow. Hey, Sadiq be doing some good things every now and again, man. I know for sure that Mark Schlereth loves him. That's not the first time Stink has been gushing over, Sadiq Charles. We've always felt like Sadiq has had talent. The question has never been, is he talented? The question is, can he stay healthy? And the answer has always been no. Didn't stay healthy this year, hasn't stayed healthy throughout his career. If you were willing to roll the dice on him, and again, it's not going to cost you a lot of money if you want to bring Sadiq Charles back. As a matter of fact, you could probably bring him back on a 2-year, $10 million deal, something like that. And the second year, you can opt out of it, like have that be a team option if you want. And he'd probably sign it. Like, nobody's salivating over Sadiq Charles. He's not going to get big money out in the free agent market. You can even sign him to a 1-year deal and have no second year if you wanted to. Sign him to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal and bring him back, And I think he'd be receptive to that. But again, we'll see. There are no guarantees when it comes to Sadiq Charles, right? Red House, not Roadhouse. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, at least we can say the Chase trade was it. Chase is Chase. And I told you, he's not elite. And there were a lot of fans that were crying, oh, he's having a monster year. We shouldn't have traded him. We should have just traded Montez. I'm like, Chase is who he is. He didn't notch a single sack today. And he wanted to badly. Stick it to us. He can't. That's not who he is. I don't know if he'll ever get the explosion that he once had back before the injury. He's never had any rush moves, and if he can't do it in San Francisco with all the talent that they have on that D-line, if he can't do it then, he'll never do it. He'll never do it. Christopher McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Chris, writes, hey, Lou, what do you think can be done to fix or improve officiating, including accountability and transparency? Why not disclose disciplinary action taken? They don't want to undermine the relationship with the officials. And remember, the officials have their own union, right? Remember, they've gone on strike before. So, and those were dark times, We got the Fail Mary because of officials who were blind and couldn't see that wasn't a catch by Golden Tate. So, literally, as soon as that happened, the real officials were back, right? So understand that you don't want to go down that road with the officials. I think they should be fined if they miss calls, just like players get fined if they have a personal foul penalty and things of that nature. Officials should be fined if they miss calls or they have egregious calls that impact games. They need to be disciplined for that. And I think the way that they try to do that is to not give those guys work in the postseason. Like the postseason, they don't just take an entire officiating crew. They take the best of the best, the officials that graded out the best throughout the year, and they put them on these pseudo all-star teams. And that's what they do. So they reward the best officials and give them more opportunities to earn pay. Whereas the guys that didn't have great seasons don't get that opportunity in the playoffs. That's their way of rewarding. But that's like the Pro Bowl, right? That's essentially what that is. It's like you're putting together a Pro Bowl roster of officials and letting them do the playoff games. That's still not holding the ones that are effing up accountable. I don't know if there's anything you can do short of allowing certain calls to be and I don't even think making the objective calls subject to replay. I don't even think you can do that because of what we saw after the pass interference experiment that they did, which was horrible. You can't, there's no way of doing that, right? So I don't really know if there's a way you can, honestly. It's going to be human error. You're going to have missed calls. You're going to have bad calls. You're going to have, disagreements with what the officials say. But officials do a hell of a job. You know, we get upset and bent out of shape about a lot of the missed calls or the bad calls that we see, but they do a hell of a job. They get a lot more right than they do wrong. And I don't really think there's much more you can do, right? The NBA has like the little final 2-minute thing that they do, and there's this report that they put out. That's cool, but it doesn't change a thing. You still lost the game, right? They're not going to give you the game back because an official screwed up. You know, the league, Ron Rivera's favorite thing to do after we would get hosed, I'm going to send this into the league. I need an explanation. Good for you, Ronald. Glad you sent it into the league so they can tell you, yeah, we effed that up. Makes the fact that we lost the game 17-13. Last year, when Terry was on the line of scrimmage, asked the official, there's visual proof of him asking the official, hey, am I good? The official giving him the head nod, yeah, you good. And then throwing the flag immediately and flagging him for an illegal formation. It doesn't matter what the league tells us after that. You still screwed us and we didn't have a chance to win the game. So I don't really know if there's much more you can do, to be honest with you. Relevant Jesse, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Relevant Jesse writes, man, that lost 7 in the street column is depressing. As we continue to watch that this whole tankathon, that's the thing. And they make sure they highlight it in green so you don't miss it, right? Oh, man. Every time that number goes up, I just cringe. When I first started following the tankathon, we were at a 4-game losing streak. We're now at 7, and this shit is depressing. And there are fans that are eating this shit up, and they're enjoying this every step of the way. And I don't know how. But he says, and seeing no one close to that, there's no other streak in the league even remotely close to ours. You know, even Carolina has won in the last month, right? He says, here's to hoping for lost 8. Make it stop, Lou. here's to 8, Jesse. Here's to being relevant again, relevant Jesse. Cheers. It'll all be over soon enough, Jesse. It'll all be over soon enough. As a wise man and woman once told me, it'll be all over in the morning. Moron thinking is more Ron thinking. Double up. That one gets me every time. Cheers to this name was a can't miss for a laugh. You got me, man. My hands are up. You got me. You got me. Cheers to that. Cheers to a good laugh. I always love a good laugh. You guys know me. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My God, BD. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Lou, you need a shirt about extremely buns being done. Respect. I just want them to go. I don't need any memorabilia reminding me of the failure here this year. What a disappointing year this year's been. Only other than my NHL hats, do I need a reminder of this season? Everything else, I don't need it. They can just go. I don't need any reminders. Ron's plan, I'll be wearing those shirts around the house. But again, I don't need any more reminders. Just leave. Just go. Just go. Hexic Gaming, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Greatly appreciate you. Y'all know what to do. Show Hexus Gaming some love. Welcome them with open arms. Look forward to chopping it up with you in the near future. You got in just before the 2024 deadline. Not that there's really a deadline, but you made it in right before the turn of the new year. Glad to have you on board and looking forward to a great 2024. Hopefully you'll be along for that ride. Welcome aboard, Hexus Gaming. Welcome to the squad. Glad to have you. Jay Willard, been a member for 27 months. Jay Willard writes, Happy New Year's, Lou. Man, such mixed feelings. Love the fact that we moved into the second pick, but at heart still hate seeing the team lose and just suck so bad. It's a part of where we are, and it's a part of the territory, right? And like I said, I've leaned all the way in reluctantly, but having people super chat and say, what a day to be a Washington fan. No, we didn't just clinch the #1 seed like the 49ers did. That would be a glorious day. We didn't just clinch a playoff spot, like the Browns did, and got to see their fans out in the streets for clinching a second playoff spot in like 24 years. No, we simply just got to the #2 overall pick with our 7th straight loss of the season. No, it's not a great time to be a Washington fan. This is not where you go, what a time to be alive. No, we're just alive. We're barely making it over here, right? But it beats the alternative of us being the 13th pick in the draft and being hopeless. It does beat that. But damn, I want to win. I can't stress that enough. And not the win some of you think, oh, you can't complain about winning and then you want us to lose. Which one is it, Louie? You have to pick one. I don't want to be 7-10. I don't want to do the Rivera thing, right? That doesn't help you. If you're going to lose, do it the right way, right? If you're going to suck the way that we suck, just suck all the way. Lean all the way in. That's what they've done this season. Can't be mad at that. Don't have to love it. I'm not glad at it, but I ain't mad at it. Chauncey Davis, OG, triple OG, my guy. Chauncey D writes, Lou, could Chris Harris have helped 13? I think so. But we'll never know. But I'd like to think that Chris Harris could have had an impact on 13. You're damn right. I've said that already as well, too. Reedy Davis. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. Who writes, Lou, love being a mob member, but I want to win, not get a high draft pick. And I hear that. And I'm not mad at you for that. But understand that if you don't want to do this ever again, or you don't want to do this in the near future, this gives us the best chance. This doesn't guarantee us a damn thing. We could whiff on the GM. We could whiff on the head coach. We could whiff on this quarterback. We could be right back here in 3 to 4 years. But this gives us the best chance to not have to do this shit again. Being #2 overall lures a GM here with the draft capital and the financial flexibility that we have, coupled with this pick being as high as it lures among the best GM candidates in the league here. It's like bait. Right now, we have some of the best bait in the business. For the first time in a long time, we got some of the best bait. You got to lean into this. Hopefully, we won't have to do it again, Reedy, because most of us just want to win. Swaggy P. Been a member for 14 months. Writes, Happy New Year, Lou. 1 more week of this misery. 8 more days and counting. How sweet it is. We just got to go around this track 1 more time. You know how you were in PE class and you were running the mile and you get to that last lap and you're like, man, I just got to do this shit 1 more time. Can't wait to stop. My leg's starting to hurt. I'm tired. You just got to do it. We just got to go around the track 1 more time. 1 more time. That's it. We got it. You came this far. You can do it 1 more time. 1 more time. Happy New Year's, Swaggy P, man. Really appreciate you. Rockman 1033. Oh, you an OG. You got the Ron's playing shirt on and everything, Rockman. I'm sorry that didn't work. I, too, was bamboozled, hoodwinked. Glad to have you on board, though. And I really do appreciate you. Mob, y'all know what to do. Show Rockman 1033 some love. Welcome in with open arms. I feel like you've been a member before, so you know what this is. Welcome to the squad. Rockman 1099. Relevant Jesse. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Relevant Jesse. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Relevant Jesse, who writes, I know you probably can't say, but blink twice if you've gotten a call to be the next GM. Seriously, though, with your knowledge, ever consider getting into scouting or something involved with football? No, because I've heard horror stories about that. Like, that is a lifelong commitment. It's almost like being a detective. You can't really have a great home life being a football coach, if you ask me. I've heard the horror stories about these coaches, how much time they devote to their craft. If you're a scout, you're on the road 8 to 10 months out of the year, right? You don't really get a break until literally after the draft is done. And there's like this little brief 2-month period of May and June, maybe June and July. And then you're right back out on the road, right? Once the college football season, they get ready to rev it up in August, you're back on that road again. And you don't come back home until the draft, right? Because you're still beating the pavement, getting all the information from these teams about these prospects, up until the draft. And then after that's done, you're working for the next year, right? So it never stops. I don't want that for my family. I'm comfortable right where I am. But I'll be the best, armchair GM I can be. I'll be the best one of those I can be. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, Happy New Year, Lou. Happy New Year, Reedy Davis. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, and mob members don't want to trade up or draft any of these future QBs. I'm a believer we don't need one. Somebody's got to play quarterback next year. And look, I still think Sam has a shot, but I also am smart enough to understand that when you draft as high as we're going to be drafting, if you believe, and again, this is not for us to decide, it's up to the next group that comes in here. If you believe in any of these quarterbacks, you have got to take one. I pointed my finger and I wagged at the Atlanta Falcons when they had a chance to draft Justin Fields, and instead they took Kyle Pitts. And I said, you don't know if you're ever going to draft this high again. You can't pass up the opportunity to get yourself a quarterback. And now look what's happened to them. They got all this talent and got no quarterback, and they're not close enough to get one. And they're going to have to try to trade up to get one or trade for one, or get Russell Wilson and hope for the best and hope he's actually got something left in the tank. And it's not a place you want to be. When you get this high in the draft, you got to take a quarterback. If you need one, you got to take one. They had Matt Ryan at the end of his career, and they knew that it was over. They should have taken a quarterback. Instead, they took Kyle Pitts. I think they won like 7 games the next year with Matt Ryan, and he was gone, and now they weren't in a good position to get a quarterback. We're going to be in a position to get a quarterback. You have to take one. If you believe in the quarterbacks. Again, if you don't, then don't take a quarterback. If you don't think any of these guys are franchise quarterback material, then don't take one. But if you believe in even one of these guys, you got to get one. You got to get that guy. We're too close not to. Gear Cell 1. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Gear Cell 1. Thank you. Writes, what's up from Lefty Nation? You know what it is. You know what it is. 1 week away from Ron and crew being on the eve of being fired. Got my double pleated platinum yoga pants ready. You and these yoga pants, man. I'm watching you, Gear Cell 1. I'm watching you in these damn yoga pants. Double platinum pleated or double pleated platinum? Yikes. Barry Curtis. We got us lefties got to stick together. Barry Curtis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Barry writes, say we get Ben Johnson. Do you believe the bigger quarterback like May/Golf is better suited for his offense, or do you believe he would change for a QB? I don't necessarily know if size is a huge part of his offense. I think that accuracy is a big part of his offense. Being a smart passer, watching Jared Goff work in his offense, you better be accurate with the football. You better be smart. You better be decisive. I think adding a guy that can actually run with some wheels will definitely benefit Ben Johnson as well, because that's not in the Detroit playbook. Jared Goff can't run. So they're somewhat handicapped by the fact that he's a stationary target, and he's literally one of the few pocket passers that we have where that guy just can't really move. We don't have many of those in the NFL anymore. So I think he's going to benefit from getting a quarterback that can move. Now, can you be as accurate with a clean pocket as Jared Goff can be, is the question. And so it helps. Jared Goff is like 6'3", 6'4". He's like 6'4". That helps. Being able to see over the line, being able to throw over the top so you don't get balls batted and things of that nature. That stuff helps a lot. But I don't know if that is essential for success in his scheme. I don't think that's the case. Alex Diaz, 1990. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, between May and Daniels, who we feeling? I say JD. We will talk about that poll that I put out on Thursday. And I'm proud to say that we hit over 1,000 responses in just one day. I could have literally gone live that night, which we did that Friday night, and I could have gone over the results right then and there, but I've given it, the weekend, and I don't think we're going to get too many more entries into that, but still, I wanted to give it a little bit more time to breathe. We won't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about next week other than these guys packing their things and getting the hell out of there. So that'll give us something to comb over and discuss. But we'll see what you guys have decided as far as what you want to do with the quarterback position next season. I think it'll be a nice sample size too. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Chauncey writes, OG Triple OG says, from North Carolina, watch both Sam and Drake May. May don't have that dog Sam had before we broke him. I'm not the biggest Drake May fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a much bigger Sam Howell supporter than I am a Drake May guy, but we'll see. I said the same thing about Justin Herbert not having that quote unquote dog in him, and look what he's morphed into in the NFL. So whatever that GM says, that's what I'm rolling with. We'll see. Latera Harrison, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Latera writes, hey, Louie T, what's in your cup? So interesting that you asked me that, because it's a weird color. So most of it, like I had this much in my cup. This much of it was 20 grand, and then this much of it was a smoothie, right? Like a spinach type smoothie, spirulina, anything green you could think of. It was one of those naked smoothies, right, that you buy from the store. The green, I think it's Green Goodness or something like that, Green Machine, something like that. So it was this much of that, and the rest of it was 20 grand. So that's what's in my cup, and I'm going to get more, minus the Green Machine or Green Goodness or whatever it's called. It'll just be straight 20 grand. When you see me later, if you do see me later for the New Year's celebratory shot, the shots that I take will probably just be straight 20 grand, more likely than not, unless I run out of it by then. But anyway, Latera, you and your family have a great New Year's. Hey, we got the number 2 pick, right? If that's your thing, if that's your cup of tea, we got the number 2 pick. Juan Gotti talking sports. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Colts, Texans for the South. Who you got? I wish AR was playing. I don't mind Ben Johnson, but Bobby Slowick is my guy, Lou. Or bring him home, Lou. Ben Johnson is my guy. And I kind of like that he's coming from Detroit, because he's got to have had a little bit of Dan, rub off on him, Dan Campbell. Now, I don't want all of Dan Campbell rubbing off on him, but we haven't, and I said this the other night, we haven't seen a fake punt the entire Ron Rivera era. Not a single one. If that doesn't speak to the lack of risk taking that we have seen from Ron here. He came here with the nickname Riverboat Ron. He's been Rowboat Ron Rivera since he's gotten here. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. We haven't seen a fake punt here since the Jay Gruden administration. Boy, we can't get them out of here fast enough. Bobby Slowick, here's the thing. I've seen Ben Johnson do it for more than 1 year successfully in Detroit. I've only seen Bobby Slowick do it once. Do it again. Do it again. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm not saying he's not capable. And I love that he came from the Shanahan tree. And if they hire him, I won't trip. Just do it again. I would be more comfortable if I knew he had at least 2 years of experience under his belt, killing it in the league. Ben Johnson has that to his resume. We knew Ben Johnson was going to be one of the most highly sought after coordinators coming into the year, and he has not disappointed. He picked right up where he left off last year. That shows me that the league has caught up to Ben Johnson and they still can't stop him. That's when you know you got something. See, the league caught up with the Giants head coach, Brian Daboll, and he couldn't adjust, right? We'll see what happens next year. Maybe he gets a better quarterback and shit changes, right? But you know you got a good one when the league got enough film, right? We got enough evidence of what you do, who you are, and now we think we got a pulse on what we need to do to stop you, and they still can't stop you. That's when you know, hey, we got a real one. Robert Griffin III had a hell of a rookie season, but they figured out, oh, okay, this is what he's about. Let's see what he can do when we take this shit away. I know how you feel about Bobby Slowick. I ain't mad at it. Give me Ben Johnson, though. But anyway, I digress. Y'all know what it is, man. One more week. Till next time, y'all know. And hopefully I'll see most of y'all for the celebratory New Year's shot. But if not, enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there in these streets. Enjoy yourselves. Bring in the new year the right way. And if I don't see you again before then, I'll see you on the other side. We made it through another year, another 365. Thank the man upstairs and pray for many, many more. But I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you've done. And I'm going to do that again later on tonight. And if you're not there with me live, you can watch it on playback. So I won't do it here, but I'll just say this. Thank you. Thank you guys. Enjoy. Washington 10, San Francisco 27. It wasn't 112-16. Could have been worse. And we do have the number 2 overall pick right now. So not everything was bad today. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.